What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'll be talking about the top 10 NASCAR Cup Series teams entering the 2024 season. We're going to go from 10th to 1st. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. In the number 10 position, I have Row Motorsports. Row Motorsports will have two cars that are full-time in 2024, that being Michael McDowell in the 34, and of course Todd Gilliland back into 38. So there's no driver changes going into 2024. Now in 2023, Row had a pretty solid year. They were able to get another win with Michael McDowell at the Indy Road Course, and there were times where Todd Gilliland also was pretty solid as well. The reason why I had them in 10th compared to be a little higher is because I just don't expect Row to take a major step up like they did in 2023. I don't think they're going to be absolutely terrible this season, but I don't expect them to be absolutely incredible throughout 2024. I think combined the organization is going to get around 10 to 20 top 10s altogether. I think Todd Gilliland will have a little bit of a better season with Front Row this year, but I think Michael McDowell will take a little bit of a step back with Front Row compared to previous years. So that's why currently at the moment right now, I have Front Row sitting in the 10th position. I think they're going to have a decent year, but I don't think they're really going to step up to the plate. I think currently right now they are in the number 10 position. In the number 9 position, I have Stewart-Haas Racing. Now, I have been pretty critical of Stewart-Haas Racing this offseason because they have not made a lot of major changes. They've got new drivers coming in, that being Noah Gragson in the 10, Josh Berry in the 4, but they're going to keep Ryan Preece and, of course, Chase Briscoe in their respective spots this season. But they've lost a lot of sponsors. They've lost Kevin Harvick, and they lost Eric Almirola. They've lost Smithfield, Busch Beer, and Gold Bowling as well. And they've lost Gear Wrench this offseason. I expect Stewart-Haas Racing to have a major step back in 2024. But I do think they'll have some good performances. I think Josh Berry will be the best performing driver at Stewart-Haas Racing this year. Then probably followed by Ryan Preece. Then Chase Briscoe probably in the middle between that. And then you'll probably have Noah Gragson in the back of the pack. I do not expect Stewart-Haas Racing to have a great season. I know that they'll probably prove me wrong, but with them having the lack of the Ford Mustang body, they weren't amazing at the Clash in all honesty, and I think unfortunately with the lack of that and with the stuff and the rumors among everything with Stewart-Haas Racing, I'm really not expecting Stewart-Haas Racing to step up to the plate and set the world on fire. I think that they're going to struggle as an organization, but they are the 9th best team going into 2024. In the 8th position, I have Legacy Motor Club. A year ago, I would not even put Legacy Motor Club on this list. If we're talking about 2023 stats, I would not put them on the list because Legacy Motor Club had a terrible season in 2024. I should say. To their credit, though, they made a lot of investment this offseason. They're going to Toyota in 2024. They're going to have the new Toyota body, which I think is going to lead to a lot of success. They're bringing John Hunter Nemechek in 2024. They've got Eric Jones in a key partner team. Speaking of which, Legacy Motor Club is going to be a key partner team in 2024, which I think will lead to them having their best season in years. I think Eric Jones has a really great chance to make the playoffs in the postseason in 2024, and I expect this organization and team to really take some major steps forward. I think both drivers of the team will have a really good chance of finishing the top 25 in points at least, especially for John Hunter Nemechek, but I think they'll have some really stand out and some really good performances. I expect Legacy to have a much better year and show improvement throughout 2024. I think this is going to be a really strong and great season for Legacy Motor Club. They are currently number 8 on my list. In the number 7 position, I have Childress Racing. Now, 2022, if we were going by 2022 numbers, they probably would be around 5th or 6th. But last year, 2023, it was very hit or miss. Kyle Busch had a great year last year, scored 3 wins, but unfortunately the second half of the year for Kyle Busch was not very good. A lot of his good stats happened in the first half. Second half of the year, though, was not great for Kyle Busch. And Austin Dillon has statistically the worst season of his NASCAR Cup Series career, finished 29th in the standings, and had 10 DNFs, which was more than anybody else in the field last season. I'm not really expecting major improvements from RCR this year, though I don't think they're going to completely struggle. I think Kyle Busch will win a race this year. Only one, though, unfortunately. And I think that he'll do good consistency-wise, but I'm not expecting a lot of race-winning pace and race-winning speed in 2024. As for Austin Dillon, with him working with Keith Rodden again, I don't expect Austin Dillon to do great. I think Austin Dillon is a better driver if he had a crew chief like Justin Alexander, but I think that team is going to have a little bit of struggles. But I think they'll run decent. They have made some executive moves and changes that could help them out. I just really, though, unfortunately, am not expecting them to really step up to the plate and really set the world on fire, though I do think Kyle Busch will have a solid and pretty good season in 2024. In the number 6 position, I have Trackhouse Racing. Trackhouse Racing had an up and down year in 2024. On one hand, you had Ross Chastain, who scored 2 wins and made it to the round of 12. But he statistically in 2023 had a worse year than he did in 2022, where he made the championship for 2022. Then he had Daniel Suarez, who did not make the postseason and had one of his worst seasons in a little bit, though he almost did make the postseason in 2023. And then he has Shane Van Gisbergen, who got a win with the team. Now, they're going to have 2 full-time entries this year. You're going to have Shane Van Gisbergen with Kaulig. You're going to have Zane Smith, who tended is under partnership with Spire Motorsports. And they've got Connor Zilisch coming into the team as well. I do expect Trackhouse to show some improvement. I expect Ross Chastain to be a championship threat and a championship contender throughout the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season. But I don't expect Ross Chastain to win like 10 races. And Daniel Suarez, I don't expect to make the postseason, which is why I think that Trackhouse Racing is just currently 6th at the moment. A few years ago, they were in the top 5, but currently right now, they are sitting in 6th position, but they could jump a little bit higher if they show a lot of improvement in the 2024 season. In the number 5 position, I have 23XI Racing. 23XI Racing took a pretty big step last year in showing a lot of improvement. Tyler Reddick joined the team last year, scored 2 victories, and made it to the round of 8. Bubba Wallace had a really great year. I think led the most laps he's ever led in a season. Had 10 top 10s and around 5 to 6 top 5s. About the same amount of top 5s and top 10s as he had in 2022. But Bubba Wallace was a lot more consistent. I expect 23XI Racing to take another major step forward. I believe that Tyler Reddick is going to be a major championship threat and contender in the 2024 season. And I think that Bubba Wallace will have his first multi-win season in his NASCAR Cup Series career, leading the 23XI Racing, having their winningest season as an organization. The most wins they've had in a year, I believe, is 2. They're looking to have more in this upcoming season. They're looking to win more than 2 races. I think if they do that, they will become a championship contender. They've had a 5-year plan where they want to win a championship by next season. They've got a chance to do that in 2024, and I expect them to be major championship threats and major contenders in the coming seasons. I think they'll have a pretty solid year and great season in 2024. In the number 4 position, I have RFK Racing. RFK Racing took a major step forward going from 2022 to 2023. Chris Buescher had a 3-win season in 2023 and was able to make it to the round of 8. Unfortunately, though, was not able to make it to the championship 4. While Brad Keselowski was not able to make it to the championship 4 or win a race last season, he was extremely consistent, and his numbers are very similar to how he ran in 2021. I expect RFK Racing to take a little bit of a step backwards in the wins column potentially, though I think it'll be very close between both drivers. But I expect both drivers to be solidly consistent, where I think for the first time, they both could finish in the top 5 or 6 in the standings. I'm pretty confident in that. I think that RFK Racing will have a very, very good year like they've had in previous seasons. I think that this is going to be a good year for RFK Racing. I think they're only going to get better and better, and I think that RFK Racing in the coming years and the coming seasons, they could win a NASCAR Cup Series championship. The last time RFK or Roush won a championship was all the way back in 2004 with Kurt Busch. I think they have a chance and opportunity to do that with Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher, who also have a Stage 60 program, who have for drivers potentially like Hailie Deegan. We could see that this year in 2024. In the number 3 position, I have Team Penske. Now, this is going to be a little controversial considering the fact that Team Penske did win their 2nd straight championship. However, when you look at statistics for Team Penske, they were very, very inconsistent and struggled in the middle portion of 2023. Now, I do expect Team Penske to have a better year in some statistics in 2024. I believe Joey Logano is going to be a championship threat and contender this season, and I also expect Ryan Blaney to have a pretty good year once again. As for Austin Cindric, I think he'll improve just a little bit, which is why another reason why I have this team in number 3 and not in number 1. though I do believe that Team Penske will have an overall solid and good year this year. I think we'll have a pretty winning year, and I think there will be a Team Penske car in the Final Four in 2024. And if I were a betting man currently at the moment, I think more than likely it is going to end up being Joey Logano, considering the fact that every even year, Joey Logano does make the championship four. So like I said, I expect Team Penske to be pretty consistent and pretty quick throughout the 2024 year. And I think that we may see Team Penske get a championship. But right now, at this moment, I have Team Penske sitting in third on my list. Though I could see them jumping to number one by the end of the year, they're number three entering the 2024 season. In the second and runner-up position, I have Joe Gibbs Racing. Joe Gibbs Racing is better than Team Penske all year, no question. And 2023 was a great year for three of the four drivers. And all four drivers on Joe Gibbs Racing could be championship contenders in 2024. You have Denny Hamlin, who had 3 wins last year and has already won the Busch Light Clash. You've got Christopher Bell, who made the championship for last season, and I think for the second year in a row, and I think he could have another really great year and get multiple victories. Then you've got Ty Gibbs, who I think is going to win a race or two this season and make the playoffs for the first time after a really solid rookie season. He showed me that at the Busch Light Clash. And then you have Martin Truex Jr., who's coming off of having a really good regular season and winning 3 races, but unfortunately, I think he's a person that might end up missing the postseason. I think he's the one that's going to be the weakest of the team. But you look at Joe Gibbs Racing, they've got a great organization over there. They're going to have the new Toyotas this year, which I think is really going to help them out in a pretty massive and pretty major way throughout the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season. I expect Joe Gibbs Racing to be really, really solid and pretty fast. And like I said, I think they will be championship contenders. And I think there's a good chance that at least one of these 4 drivers from Joe Gibbs Racing could win the championship. Maybe it's Denny Hamlin's year and he finally gets that championship. But I expect a pretty solid and a really strong year for Joe Gibbs Racing headed into the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season. And the team in the number 1 position, I have Hendrick Motorsports. Look, Hendrick Motorsports collectively was the best team last year statistically in 2023. They had 10 wins combined, 6 for William Byron and 4 for Kyle Larson. And they had 2 drivers in the Final Four last season. And you look at this team and the strength of it. You've got William Byron, who had a breakout season in 2023, winning 6 races. You've got Kyle Larson, who's going to be doing the Indy NASCAR double this year and is looking to win his second NASCAR Cup Series championship after winning it in 2021. You've got Alex Bowman, who's looking to have a bounce-back season after missing the postseason and missing part of the year due to the injury and back injury that he received. And you have Chase Elliott, who missed part of the season and had basically some shoulder surgery in this offseason as well, which I expect Chase Elliott to have a pretty big bounce-back year in 2024. I think collectively, you look at Hendrick Motorsports, they are the best team all around. They've got the best resources of any organization. They're the most successful organization in the history of NASCAR. They got their 300th win last season. I expect Hendrick Motorsports to altogether collectively just run amazing and very, very good this year. And I wouldn't be shocked or surprised if there's 2 or even 3 or maybe at the end of the year, all 4 drivers, so it's probably unlikely at this point, we could see all 4 drivers from Hendrick Motorsports make the Final Four this year. But I think as an organization for sure this year, I think it is going to be a really good year for the Hendrick Motorsports group. So this season in 2024, I think they're the best team going into the year. I could be proven wrong. They end up dropping a little lower on this list. But going into the 2024 season, I have Hendrick Motorsports being the number 1 organization. So those are the 10 best teams going into the year. Let's talk about honorable mention, Spire Motorsports. They almost made my list this year because they have put a lot of investment in the team. They've got a good driver lineup from Zane Smith, Carson Nosbar, and Corey LaJoie. I just could not put those guys in the list because Spire Motorsports is not the most proven team yet. If they perform great this year and they have a guy make the postseason, they're probably going to make my list at the end of the year. But right now, I have these guys just outside of my list being the 11th team. Same thing with Childress Racing. They're taking a step back this year. That's why they're not on the list, unfortunately. They were supposed to get someone like Matt DiBenedetto to drive. That didn't happen, of course. You've obviously got some other things. You've got Allmendinger back in Xfinity. He'll be full part-time in Cup. I think that's why they unfortunately did not make my list as well. So, those are the top 10 NASCAR driver teams entering the 2024 season. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support on Patreon as well. Let's go to more of that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. Who are your top teams entering the 2024 season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, I'm going to have the Craftsman Truck Series driver lineup season preview there. I'm also going to have a lot of other videos dropping on the channel that you'll be seeing over the course of the next couple days. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.